is happening, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today we have an underused match. This one is against Alex from Twitter, and he has a pretty scary team in that I'm mostly afraid of his walls. He has Florges and Suicune. Honestly, fuck me, that's going to be pretty difficult to take care of, but let's go ahead and get it started. He decides to lead off with his Darmanitan, as I lead off with Steelio Girl. No girl is safe. The gold Steelix because bitches love gold. Anyways, he's gonna switch directly out on the first turn. I kind of expected him to probably just U-turn. He ends up just going for the hard switch, which was kind of weird to me, but he goes into Suicune here right off the bat, and I'm like, well, the one Pokemon I hate dealing with in underused is Suicune. It is such a pain in the ass. It starts to set up Calm Minds, it can rest, and it hits really hard with Scald. It's just an absolute pain, but I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve with Mega Steelix. A lot of people have been telling me that Mega Aggron does the exact same thing, and I'm aware of that. I honestly just like using Steelix because it looks fucking sweet with its Mega, but I'm aware of the fact that Aggron pretty much is Mega Steelix, but better. But I hit it with an Earthquake. It doesn't do a whole lot to this Suicune. Kind of tells me it's going to be physically defensive. And now he's just going to start setting up Calm Minds, and I was like, alright, pretty much exactly what I expected. I switched into Roserade just because I wanted to put a stop to this thing getting up Calm Minds. I'm able to go for the Sleep Powder and then set up like some Leech Seed and stuff. So unless this thing does have Ice Beam, he can't really OHKO me. So Roserade is in a pretty good spot here. So I do end up putting it to sleep. Doesn't freaking miss on the first turn. Thank you for that, Roserade. And now, see, I'm aware of the fact that a lot of the time these things do run like Sleep Talk or whatever, and this one actually does turn out to be a sleep talking one, but I wanted to sleep anyways. So now he's going to switch directly back into his Darmanitan, as I'm going to go for a Leech Seed, is going to sap up that motherfucker. So the monkey over there is nice and Leech Seeded. I'm going to get a little bit of health back on this first turn, but I definitely do not really want to stay in here and take a Flare Blitz. But then I was like, wait, he's probably going to U-turn expecting a switch. I end up going into Steelio Girl because I did predict a U-turn here, but it turns out he actually just goes straight for the Flare Blitz. I don't know. I should have. I don't know. I blew it there. I really expected him to U-turn, but then again, I could have stayed in with Roserade. Kind of glad I didn't. Unfortunately, though, Steelix is going to go down to that Flare Blitz. But the good thing about that is that he does lose a dickload of health, which is not that big of a deal. But whatever. So honestly, I just don't have a whole lot of switch-ins to Darmanitan, so Steelix kind of took one for the team there, but, you know, what are you going to do? So here I bring in Ambipom because I did want to fake out that Darmanitan, get another turn of Leech Seed or whatever, and kind of whittle that thing down. Unfortunately, he's just going to go back into the Sleeping Water Entei, aka Suicune. Water Entei, I don't know, I don't know why I call it that. But anyways, yeah, so I go for a double hit here just to kind of scout out how much damage that's going to do, and it actually does a pretty decent amount. And I was like, alright, Ambipom, fuck yeah, you've been working out, buddy. It's showing, man, it's showing. So he, in fact, wakes up this turn, which is pretty shitty, and he's able to get a Calm Minds up, and I was like, oh god, another double hit will not be able to take this thing out after its leftover recovery and stuff. So I was in a pretty weird spot here. I did not want to lose Ambipom this early. I was expecting him to maybe go for the rest here, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to U-turn and get a little bit of damage to show for it, and be able to switch out back into Roserade here. So Ambipom comes back to me. I just end up going back into Gatorade as I'm kind of just trying to scout out what the rest of this Suicune's moves are. He does show that he has Rest, which is pretty annoying because Rest, Sleep Talk, Suicune is just the worst type of Suicune. So at least at this point I kind of am able to infer what this thing's moveset is. I think it has Calm Mind, Rest, I'm expecting Sleep Talk, and probably Scald. So I do get a Leech Seed on this thing since he is asleep. He has to go for the Sleep Talk. He does end up getting Scald on the first turn. He isn't going to be able to do a whole lot of damage to me, obviously. Doesn't get the burn, luckily. I mean, it wouldn't really matter because I do have Natural Cure, but luckily he didn't get the burn there. So he's going to stay in here. Leech Seed's not doing a whole lot for me. Honestly, this thing is... Suicune is just absolutely awful. Go fuck yourself if you use one of these things. Just kidding. I use a Suicune sometimes. Anyway, so I'm just going to go into... I decide, you know, fuck it. I'm just going to make some plays here. I'm going to go into freaking Goodra here as he does get a Scald Sleep Talk. And this part is super sped up here just because, honestly, the rundown of what's happening here is Goodra's just going to stay in, fire off a whole bunch of Thunderbolts at this thing, as he's just going to wake up, get some more Calm Minds, and just pretty much rinse and repeat. He can essentially just rest and get all his health back and stuff. I'm kind of just staying in here hoping for a Thunderbolt crit or something like that would be really nice. He gets down to low health, he goes for the rest, and I was like, well, fuck me, I'm just going to Thunderbolt again. Get a critical hit there, but it's not enough to take it out, as he is going to Sleep Talk and get another Calm Mind, which is actually awful, because, yeah, now he's going to be able to actually take another T-Bolt. Oh, no, never mind. The Leech Seed brings him back down to red, so now he is forced to switch out into his Florges here, and I was like, okay, well, at least I have that fucking Suicune down to red health. So as long as that thing doesn't come in and then outspeed something and get a rest, I've pretty much got that KO'd. So I was like, alright, that's a win in my book. So Thunderbolt's got the Paralyze on the Florges, which is actually pretty nice. I was like, hell yeah. And yeah, so I'm just going to bring out Gatorade here because I do have Sludge Bomb. Even though Florges is especially defensive as Titties, Sludge Bomb is still going to be able to do some damage to this thing. So he goes for a rest there, which kind of tells me he might want to switch into the Suicune again just to get his health back. He goes for the Aromatherapy, which is going to get rid of his paralysis, and it's going to wake up the Suicune. So that's kind of bummer. So yeah, so paralysis gone, Suicune's woken up. He's now going to get his rest, but honestly, or not going to get his wish, sorry. I'm not really too worried about it because seeing as how much Sludge Bomb damage that first one did, I was not really too worried about it. As he's just going to go for a Protect here. Not really sure what the idea was behind that. Maybe just to scout out what I was going to do. Either way, I just go for a Lead Seed. Doesn't go through the Protect and shit. So here, I actually end up going for the Lead Seed again, just in case this floor just wants to stay in and dick around. I know there's really not a whole lot this thing can do to me, as he's just going to go for a another Wish here. This Florges just being annoying as hell. Honestly, my two most hated Pokemon in the UU tier are Florges and Suicune, just because they're so difficult to take care of if you don't have something for them on your team. But yeah, at least I have this thing lead seeded. I'm not really too worried about it. It can't hurt me. I know that for a fact. As now he's actually going to switch into his Infernape. So he's making some plays. He goes into Infernape as I go for a Giga Drain, actually expecting Suicune to come in. Kind of unfortunate. Wish I went for Sludge Bomb there. Definitely would have done a lot more damage. But then again, he does have a Wish, so he gets back to full health anyways. And I am definitely afraid of this here Fire Monkey. And I just realized this guy has both Fire Monkeys on his team. He has Infernape and Darmanitan, so fucking just Fire Monkeys everywhere. As I'm going to switch into Goodra here, and he goes for a Fire Blast, which is really nice. Special attacks do not hurt Goodra whatsoever. And at this point, he has to switch out because he cannot hurt me. He's just going to go back into Florges, which is the pretty obvious play. I didn't want to risk anything and double switch, so I actually ended up just going for a Thunderbolt. Goodra, the moral of the story for Goodra in this match is just kind of working out your Thunderbolts, honestly. I must have used like almost all of the power points on my Thunderbolts by the end of this battle, which is kind of weird. But yeah, so the Florges is over here just soaking up special attack damage. As I just end up going for another Thunderbolt. I was like, you know what, I have no reason not to. I know this, he can hit me with a Moonblast, but I'm not really too worried about it, honestly. I know it won't do a whole lot to me. I end up getting the paralysis again, and I was like, that's like the most paralysis I've ever gotten on Thunderbolts, like, ever. I was like, alright, this is working out. So, I'm just gonna switch. I'm gonna go back into Roserade. Honestly, I'm not really taking attacks at this point. I'm just kind of switching around, trying to get the matchups that I need, and the main thing I'm worried about is that Darmanitan and Infernape, honestly. So, here at this point, the Florges is just going to protect, being an annoying fucking asshole, Fairy Flower, and as I just try to go for a Sludge Bomb, doesn't work, obviously. Would have been real nice if he got paralyzed there. I believe Sludge Bomb would have been able to actually take this thing out. So, yeah, so Alex is going to switch out here. He doesn't want to take a Sludge Bomb with his Florges. He's actually going to make a pretty nice play, and he goes into Infernape here. So, the Sludge Bomb obviously is not going to do enough to take this thing out at full health, but it is going to do a decent chunk, and I also get the poison. So, I was like, okay, the hacks is kind of leaning my way, but yeah, so it's looking like this Infernape's gonna actually die to his next poison damage, and I know that Roserade is the most valuable thing on my team at the moment, as I'm just gonna switch back out into Slime Shady, just pretty much making the obvious play, as I know that I did that last time. I can take Fire Blast, or pretty much anything this Infernape can actually throw at me, so I eat that shit up. After leftovers, I'm like back to full health. Looking nice and healthy, as, oh, the poison actually doesn't end up taking this thing out, as he is going to save the Infernape for later. He switches back into the Florges on Goodra. The obvious matchup, Fairy against Dragon, so I just Thunderbolt again. This is what I mean. I just literally just fire Thunderbolts because it's like one of the only things that I could hit this thing with. I wish I had Sludge Bomb on my Goodra. This is one of my Goodras that actually doesn't have Sludge Bomb, and I was like, fuck me, that would have come in handy for sure. But yeah, so at this point, I really wish I had Stealth Rocks up with Steelix. I definitely should not have lost that thing so early. Stealth Rocks would have really helped me out here. He does a lot of switching, and also it would have rendered that Infernape pretty much dead because of the fact that it has like 5 HP and it's poison. So he goes for a Wish there. He's just going to Wish Protect, get all his health back, being an asshole stupid floor just like he is, as I just tried to Sludge Bomb. Unfortunately did not get the paralysis on that turn, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's walls are taking so long to kill. I was actually live recording this when it was happening, but I was like, this is going to be a terrible match to have live recording, because we went on for like an hour, honestly. So I felt like the post-commentary was going to work out. I am eventually able to hit that thing with a sludge bomb, and it does well over half, and I'm like, holy shit, thank God, let me just get one more of these motherfuckers in here. He protects. I'm not sure what the idea was behind the protect there, because I mean, either way, with the this next leftover recovery, Sludge Bomb is able to take it out. So yeah, he's gonna get some more leftovers. He's still at about half. I'm able to fire another Sludge Bomb at this thing, and down goes the fucking Florges. And holy shit, round of applause for Gatorade for just sticking in here with like not taking any attacks, just pretty much just being annoyed. It's just a defensive ass Pokemon. So he does get a revenge switch in, which is pretty terrible. He gets the Darmanitan in here, and the only real switch in that I could think of was just to bring in Goodra, as he just goes for a U-turn, which is a nice play because he'll be able to get the matchup on Goodra while also doing about half damage to me. So I was like, well, shit. So now he's just gonna bring back out the freaking Suicune, who is no longer sleeping because of the aromatherapy a lot of turns ago. So he's at red health, and I'm at this point like, okay, I'm pretty sure I can outspeed fucking Suicune, right? I was kind of like wondering why he switched this thing in. For a second, I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait, no, hold up. I outspeed this thing. I'm just gonna go for a Thunderbolt. Goodra is able to take out the Suicune, and I was like, holy shit, yes. So now that both of his walls are gone, there's really not a whole lot that I have to worry about here. I have a lot of Pokemon in the back of my team, and I'm pretty much good to go. So he's now going to bring in Sharpedo. And if you guys watched my last live match with this underused team, you did see that Sharpedo was able to sweep me. But he's just going to Mega Evolve right on the first turn here. I think it would have been probably beneficial for him to stay regular Sharpedo and get a speed boost first, but he actually just Mega Evolves right off the bat. I just stay in, go for another Thunderbolt. Goodra literally just firing off hella Thunderbolts at this point. And I know that he's probably going to have Ice Fang for me, but I basically just don't want to switch just in case he doesn't go for it. I end up just letting Slime Shady bite the dust here. Not that big of a deal because, you know, Slime Shady, you did your work, buddy. You did your work. So this allows me to bring in Porygon Z here, who is going to get these special attack rays on the download. And this is why I said it would have been beneficial for him to stay regular Sharpedo. As you know, a regular Sharpedo with 1 speed boost actually is able to outspeed my Scarfed Porygon Z. But yeah, so I'm just going to go for a Tri-Attack as he's going to switch in his own Porygon Z. Definitely nice and shiny, but check this out. The regular version is much cooler because I'm able to kill that thing with 2 Tri-Attacks. Mine's Choice Scarfed. I don't know if his was Scarfed either, but I am able to outspeed that thing. I'm able to kill my brother, and this allows him to bring in the Infernape. And at this point, I was kind of worried about Mach Punch. I was like, you know, most Infernapes carry Mach Punch. I did see that this was a special attacking one, but honestly, a lot of them do carry that anyways. But he actually just shows me he goes for the close combat. So I could have actually just stayed in there and been able to outspeed that thing and kill it, but Roserade's able to take the close combat very nicely. I was expecting the Mach Punch, but whatever. At this point, I know that he's going to die to his poison damage next turn, and Roserade is looking not too bad here. So he goes down to his poison, finally lost that. The Fire Monkey is dead. He's going to bring in his second Fire Monkey, which is the Darmanitan. This is why I said I would have enjoyed Stealth Rocks this match, just because all these fire types just switching in and out, man. But yeah, so he's going to, I let him actually just kill Roserade, because I figure it's done its work. I have, the rest of my Pokemon should be able to finish off the match here. So he's now just going to U-turn out, he goes into Sharpedo, and this allows me to pretty much just bring in Bubblegum, who is Choice Scarfed as fuck. I get my download, it's going to raise the special attack, obviously, and he's just going to protect. No real use in that because, I mean, honestly, next turn I'm just going to do the same exact thing. So Tri-Attack doesn't go through, but this time I am able to outspeed with the download boost. That is going to knock out the Sharpedo, and I was like, hell yeah, all he has left is his Darmanitan, I believe, and even if he was Choice Scarfed, I'm Choice Scarfed as well, so I would definitely be able to outspeed. Either way, Tri-Attack is going to go first, and Porygon Z takes out the Darmanitan. So that is going to be the end of the match, ladies and gentlemen. That was a pretty weird match, honestly. I thought it was just kind of interesting, like, showing you guys how I had to deal with those really defensive things. But if you enjoyed this match, leave a thumbs up and perhaps a comment. I enjoy comments. I read every one of them, just so you guys know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace out.